Figured I'd make a video. As every video I see, it's so misinformed and they don't really tell people what they should. But I'm a professional golf cart mechanic, but do a lot of fabricating on the side and custom carts and whatever. First things first, your Carryall DS. I put way too much work into this thing trying to kind of figure out which way to go about things. I've put about 3 different engines and a couple rear ends, but eventually I put this back to a stock diff because I'm just gonna sell it. No one really wanted to buy it. I'm trying to get $400 how it sits. Couldn't really get, I was trying to get like $1,200 with the engine in it. And a ton of fabrication, no one would really buy it. So $400 how it sits if you want. I got this frame as a DS. They were throwing it away, so figured I'd use the diff in this. But anyway, a couple things you need to know on your DS Carryall, which people don't really point out. I watched one video, he's like, yeah, let's throw a 420 Predator in it. Yeah, it's cheaper. That was about it. But I've put an engine in. It was on the same side of the clutch. I'm like, okay, I'm good. Did all that work, got it running, and it was very slow forward, fast backwards, because it wants a counterclockwise engine. No, it wants a clockwise engine, and everything is counterclockwise online. You can't really find a clockwise engine. So you have a couple options. You could put high-speed gears and just make it be faster both ways and be crazy fast reverse. You could, and regular fast forward. You could mount an engine and then have it go to a idling shaft and then have it switch sides and have it rotate the other way. You could mount the engine behind it. You could put it up on top of the bed and flip it the other way, mount it this side and have it face that way. You just need it to rotate the certain direction. You can kind of see the diff, it's in forward. So when I turn it counterclockwise, it goes backwards, which is what most engines are going to do. Turn it clockwise, it goes forwards, because that's what the original engine was, and it is geared differently. I even went as far as taking the diff apart to see if I could move something around, and that was more trouble than it's worth, so just put it back in. So anyway, eventually what I settled on is, which I did in this one, mounted the diff backwards. I happened to do a chain drive on that one, and at the time I had a little idler pulley there for a tensioner. Guess it was tensioner. I welded it in place to keep the tension. Little tack welds on things, because I kept put this sprocket and then the keyway kept falling out. Put a little tack on the keyway so this could still be removed, but the keyway can't fall out. And that was way better, because then I had to do other things, run into other problems, and that was kind of a bitch, taking the chain off without taking the engine out or whatever. So that was holding its tension better, where your chain's not going to fall off. So basically, see, diffs mounted backwards. This is where your tray sits on that one. Diff mounted backwards. I even tried swapping the tubes, and that didn't work. It was slightly different. Put that back, etc. But so swap it that way. Oh, now your brakes are the other way. So then I flip the brakes. You take the backing plate, those 4 bolts, and then I just turned it up to the top, but now your pull for your cable is down low, so that won't really work. So then I have brackets. Those are from an Easy Go with that bolt into the backing plate to use at the top. You could also remove the whole axle, swap that plate to the other side, and then you could keep it on the bottom. But I was sitting in the dirt in my backyard and didn't want to bother pulling the whole axle. So yeah, got that. I was kind of, when I was looking at videos, I was kind of browsing, trying to see info on this kit, and there really wasn't anything. I wasn't really seeing much, but know, is what it is. But, you know, and with that one, so originally I had a 212 in there, and I just had a centrifugal clutch on a chain on there to here with a tensioner, and it did top speed pretty good with it in reverse, but it was a little underpowered taking off. I think if you went with one of these torque converters on a 212, you'd probably be in much better shape. So this is a drive clutch into a driven clutch with a belt and a chain drive, or golf cart style. And then I figured this would help close the gap of the chain being kind of far. So they were throwing this away, and I figured I was gonna maybe try to find a DS as a better frame than a Carryall to sell. So let me give you a little more look at my tray. It's pretty solid. I just built it off of that, off of the tray at the bottom, bar across, welded, braced it at the top. Actually didn't have that brace until I put this bigger engine in. It would hold fine. I'll elaborate a little more in a second. Straight across, and I cut that plate. Actually had a plate, I had a spare power washer, and I checked the plate fit right up to that engine, so I cut that plate out, and I actually used the old card. I made a tool card out of it. I welded like a basket to the bottom, and then I welded a mount for like a toolbox on the top so I could roll it around kind of like a dolly. But yeah, and then originally, so you have this typically on the front of a stock cart, and I mounted it holes onto there, and then mounted it all up, and it was vibrating like crazy and clanking. I just took it off. It was way better. But now I'm trying to actually give it a brace. I put a ball joint. So the ball joint mounted there so it can pivot. I built a TXT a little while ago, and I put heim joints, 2 heim joints in the front. So I was kind of sticking with that plan. As far as so your first thing is get it mounted, your tray, in the right direction. And you got to worry about your cables and your drive. If you're close enough on a standard engine, I'll show maybe if people like, golf cart videos, I'll elaborate on some of my other builds. But my TXT, it was a earlier TXT regular diff with a drive clutch, the regular drive clutch, and I built a tray, and it's all belt drive like a regular golf cart, not the torque converter, just regular golf cart clutch and drive and driven clutch. But yeah, so your other major thing you're gonna worry about is it's real annoying with your choke or your other one. I've been you hook up some sort of cable, maybe bolted in, you can see a hole there I bolt the cable, and I think I bolted it to the arm with a clamp, and then tie it through there, the choke cable. Actually, I have the choke cable over here still here. Solid one. Took it out though. It's just a solid wire that pulls it, which that works, but they're pretty annoying. So I think I'm gonna try this carb on this one. It's like a performance kit. It's pretty sweet, clear bowl, and this is actually your carb, your choke cable. It's got a nice mount, so that'll be pretty cool. Came with the exhaust and heat shrink and stuff. So we'll see how that does. It's more of a ATV kind of style. It's pretty cool. So hopefully that works a little better. Maybe I'll do another video when it's more built, if people find it interesting or whatever. A lot of the stuff you get, it's really doesn't fit right. Like this, it's been kind of a struggle. I mounted one hole there, and I had a drill hole in the middle to get positioning right because it wouldn't really fit. Over here with the drain plug there, I trimmed it down, it still wouldn't fit, but now it works when you drill that. I did 2 holes there with a drilled hole in the middle. It's pretty close to center. That's a belt drive, so should be all right. The 420s are so much better quality. This is actually an off-brand Predator. It's not actual Predator, but you can tell it's better quality than the 212 all around. And I removed here's your governor. If you were to use that as your arm for your throttle, and you can make a solid arm there. Like the other Predator I have, I put in my TXT. It actually came in, a guy thought it was garbage, and he said it has no compression. The carb was actually locked up, and I changed the carb and it was good. But he had already had a solid piece here, and then that moves, it's not hooked up, but you could pull it, and you pull it here, and it pulls through all that linkage. But stock, it's gonna have the governor, which is in here. As the engine turns, it pushes it back, which what I'm leaning to is a big bonus on the 420. You just take this cover here off, tip it on its side, take those out, pull the cover, and it's right there in the cover. Where your 212, it's like in the back corner. It's a real bitch. On that one, I was doing it, just keeping it in the engine with the cables hooked up, putting it to the side, and it's in the back corner. I'm in the dirt. It's kind of a bitch, but the push rods fell out. I had to take the rocker cover off and all this shit. But yeah, so I'm actually liking the 420s. I think it's worth the extra money, and you'll get that extra power. So hopefully this thing should be pretty quick. A little bit contemplating maybe I'll do a build with just use a go-kart rear axle. Probably get more speed out of it because these are all reduced. But then you also got to think these have your reverse built into the diff, not the engine. Where if you're trying to use like an electric cart that's put in reverse with the motor, not the diff. Where a gas cart is in the diff, this arm is for the reverse. So if you were trying to use a go-kart axle, they sell a gearbox or reversing gearbox. You could try that, and then you would have reverse, or run it with no reverse. It's up to you. But oh yeah, originally I mounted this on this one. I mounted this up here, gas tank, to give it kind of a gravity feed. On this one, it worked okay, but because I was originally just going to leave it on top of the engine, but then it was right above here, so you couldn't really fill it good. So I had to do that. This one, I maybe could have left it alone. It might be a little more forward, but I already have a gas tank here. So actually what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try out. I have an electric pump, which I'll run when I put the key on. And you don't want to just run that to your carb. I see a lot of them here. People run electric fuel pump and it screws up your float. So this already has like a vent, so I'm gonna run that to the fuel pump, and then out I'm gonna run it to one of these T's, and I'm gonna do that one, so it goes, and then I'll do the straight to the carb to fill, and then I'll leave that one as like a return, and I'll run it to that vent to keep the pressure off it. Hopefully that'll give the momentum that way, and as it stops it'll just circulate back and not destroy the needle and seat in the carb. And it's a lot better because you're then a gravity feed, because you could service the carb or whatever, not have your whole tank dump out or whatever. Or even I could if I want to drain the tank or something, I could run that and drain it into a bucket or whatever. Yeah, just let me know if you guys like these videos, and maybe I'll start doing them. I mean, I don't really get paid anything, and I don't really post much, so if I just post when it's like something interesting I do. I posted a little video of a custom-made tire machine I made out of a golf cart diff, or something that's kind of interesting, or if I find something on a car I see no info on, I'll throw it on there, like how I rolled up my windows in an E36 with a broken motor manually, so I can put the windows up, something like that. But maybe I'll start doing golf cart videos if people find it interesting, because I happen to do a lot of this just on my own. Maybe if people think it's interesting, I'll keep doing it. Maybe I'll show my builds and my TXTs at home. Maybe I'll show a clip right here. I did a little clip racing my stock gas one the other day. Maybe I'll throw that in here or not, but yeah, give me a like if I'm going to keep doing these, maybe subscribe, whatever. All right.